Welcome to Small Business Big Dreams, where every episode is a new journey into the world of entrepreneurs who are daring to dream big. In this corner of the internet, we're going to celebrate the innovation and the perseverance it takes to turn small ventures into booming successes. These small businesses aren't just places to shop, they're actually hubs of creativity and passion, each with its own amazing story. From the mom and pop shops to the innovative startups, we're going to explore it all. You'll meet the faces behind the brands, hear their stories, and maybe even get inspired to start your own venture. Whether you're a longtime local or new in town, come along with me for the ride and let's celebrate the backbone of our communities one small business at a time. Now let's dream big and spread some love for our local heroes. All right, well, welcome back to another week of Small Business Big Dreams. I'm your host, Eric Bull, and this week's episode is going to be a fun one. It's very different. We've never done anything like this before. I have a new friend who probably outmatches me in energy quite a bit, which I'm shocked. But I brought in Natalie Ziemba.
Nicely done,
yeah,
Eric.
I did? I got it right? Okay.
You got it right.
Well, Natalie, welcome. What we're going to do today, so Natalie is a avid small, shop local as much as I am. Natalie's currently out now in the Woodstock area. So we're going to kind of do like a speed round kind of thing. So me and Natalie are going to bounce back and forth, and we're going to talk about some really great small businesses. She's going to talk some out in the Woodstock area, what's going on out there. I'm going to have Natalie give you a spiel on everything she's involved in because we don't know when to say no. And then I'm going to give you guys some out by my way. I'm over like in the Grays Lake County area. And we're just going to have some fun and talk and give the 5 minutes of fame to some small businesses we absolutely love. So welcome, Natalie. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much. I am so excited to be here.
Yeah, and now she's mocking me already. God, we're a minute 15 in and we're like already. Okay, I deserve that one, though. How about, I know a little bit about your background.
Yes.
We've talked a bit, but like for our listeners, give us a spiel of Natalie. Who are you? What do you do?
Wow, that's existential right off the bat. No, I love it.
We get deep here.
I so appreciate that. Yeah. Natalie Ziemba is a Chicagoan by birth, lived in Chicago most of my life, and then started kind of dabbling, making my way out into suburbanite world. Did Morton Grove, then Schaumburg for 3 years. And what was pulling me out into the suburbs was I was a teacher for 10 years in the city of Chicago. And when I made the pivot out of teaching, which was in 2013, after a decade of being in the classroom, I left teaching and found my way to a company in McHenry. And I remember going for the interview there, and I'm like, there's
nothing here.
Cornfields, and it just keeps going. Where am I? And ended up at that company for almost 6 years, made so many wonderful friends, many of which lived in Woodstock. So there were a couple of opportunities to go have dinner at places like the Moose Lodge.
Yeah, of course.
The Moose, right? Which I didn't even know what Moose was before that visit. And ended up just falling in love with Woodstock like so many people do. And in 2019, made the official move to Woodstock and just dove right in. And by that, I mean, I work a full-time job. So now my career is really in marketing, partnership marketing, which I love. Great transitional career for former educator. But I do a ton of volunteer work. I'm in Rotary Club of Woodstock, so I'm a Rotarian. I do a lot of volunteer work with the Alzheimer's Association because
Bless your soul.
Thank you. Because of my connection with my dad. So I do a lot of fundraising, a lot of policy advocacy work as a volunteer ambassador with the Alzheimer's Association. And again, in addition to working full time, I am also a councilwoman. So I am on the city council of the city of Woodstock, of which I'm very proud. So I'm about 25% through my term. So I'm just starting year 2 of a 4-year term. And I'm really proud of that because I get to really dive in and do what I love, which is things like ribbon cuttings and meeting people and going to business openings, going to community forums, all of the wonderful festivals and events that we have in Woodstock. So when I saw the opportunity to kind of brag a little bit about my wonderful community, of which
Hell
now I
yeah.
feel really a part of. I reached out and said, hey, I have a couple of businesses that I would love to highlight. I'm not a business owner myself, but like you said, I am a supporter of small, shop local when we can. And so I sent you a couple of those, and I said, hey, if you want to have me on, let's do it. And the format is a little bit different, but I think it's going to be really, really fun.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a fun episode. I think it's going to be a nice little change of pace too. And I think it really helps highlight, some of these businesses that, I can only talk about so many. So, it's like one a week, and then that week goes fast. I'm like, oh my God, another one's up. So the fact we're going to talk to probably maybe like 6, 7, 8 companies today, see what we have. But I'm excited about that. I almost said super excited, but I bit my tongue. But then I said it anyway. Man, I'm just curious. So this is more from for my own curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of your goals as a councilwoman? That you're trying to achieve.
Well, there's some big initiatives that are already out of the gate, one of which is the expansion of Route 47. So Route 47 between I-90 and heading north towards, we think of like Lake Geneva as the destination point. It is a major thoroughway for industry, for businesses. There's a lot more semi-truck traffic and just a lot more people.
So much semi-truck traffic on there now.
Yeah. And so IDOT already, this is off and running. So this is an IDOT project, really, is the expansion. But what can we do as the community to help support the businesses along that route? Because business is going to be disturbed, right, for probably 2 years, let's say.
Yeah.
And how do we support them and encourage patrons to still go and visit these businesses? It's really important, and help them with communication of, hey, we're still open for business. Please come and see us. But then part of the project is also the beautification of that route, and to think of it as like a commercial corridor for people. Everybody thinks of Woodstock as like, oh, well, the square. And don't get me wrong, the square is incredible.
Oh, it is.
But we also have Route 14 and we have this Route 47 corridor. So I think of it as like 3 very sort of distinct areas of business within the city of Woodstock. And so Route 47 expansion, really important. Preservation of our historic places is also really key. So we have places like the old courthouse center, which is amazing. And I'll touch on that because one of the businesses I want to discuss today is part of the old courthouse center. But then our beautiful, historic, amazing, which is going through some renovation and updating now, is of course the Opera House, Woodstock Opera House.
Really? I didn't know that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Love that.
And those are like our anchors on our square, right? The old courthouse center and the Opera House. So preserving and kind of highlighting these special places, I think, is really, really important. And to use the square as like a jumping off point for other businesses in Woodstock.
Oh, of course. Because once you've got that cornerstone, it's so much easier to, expand, piggyback, whatever word choice you want to go there.
Yeah.
And, something maybe your business doesn't essentially fit within the square style, but you can definitely leverage off of the traffic, the community, the ambiance of it all. And then it just keeps going from there. But you got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Curious, what are they doing with the opera? Are they just restoring it, or what's the plan?
Yeah, so there's some beautiful technological updates that are taking place right now to sound system, lighting. A beautiful LCD gigantic screen was added, which makes like the scenery and backdrops really exciting.
Yeah.
So, but we like things like the seating. So everyone's like, "Oh, are the seats going to change?" And I was like, I don't think that's part of the plan right now because actually they're in pretty good shape. But there's going to be more of a community, embracing the community, allowing the community to utilize that space a little bit more.
Okay.
So a major renovation is actually happening right when you enter. You're going to be able to utilize the space walking through and being able to like see into the other space. So before you even go up into the auditorium itself, you'll be able to utilize and have a better flow of traffic through the space, pedestrian traffic, as I call it, foot traffic through the space of community engagement, the community room, and almost like a VIP area for people that want to utilize the space and have a proper green room, have a proper pass from stage left to stage right, things like that. If you've ever been behind the scenes at the Opera House, people don't realize there's not an easy way for actors or the performers to go from stage left to stage right. There's
behind the scenes.
Right.
Oh my, I had no idea.
Yeah.
So now, you're modernizing it, but keeping the character. I love it.
Absolutely.
Love
That's
that.
a great way to put it, Eric.
Love
We're
it.
keeping the character, but giving it some touch-ups,
I
some
can't
tweaks.
wait to see this giant LCD screen. That's got me intrigued.
It's beautiful.
All right, let's kick it off. Well, you give us your first business in this hot seat today.
My first business is actually a restaurant,
Okay.
and it's from
Great. I'm hungry right now already.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
So Chef Zach, he is the proprietor at Duke's Ale House and Kitchen in Crystal Lake. It's a beloved place. It's right off the train line in downtown Crystal Lake. People love Duke's. It's
I'm literally Googling it.
yeah,
Right now.
people definitely know Duke's Ale House. It's right around the corner from Crystal Lake Brewing, which you've mentioned
Yes.
previously, right?
Yeah.
And he found Woodstock attractive and said, I want to open up another restaurant, but the concept is quite different. And we already had a space that would work as a restaurant. It has a beautiful wood-fired pizza oven. So that's where the idea of Duke's Inferno came from. So that's my number one business, Duke's Inferno in Woodstock. It is close to where the Walmart is. It's off of Highway 14 and Lake Avenue. The address is actually on Catalpa Lane, so it's 11671 Catalpa Lane in Woodstock. And it is just such a cool space. They spin vinyl. There's sort of this music theme to the menu items and some of the pizzas. He calls them his LPs. And the vibe is just cool, and it feels really good. And there's a wonderful bar that's so warm and welcoming, and you come in, but it's an open kitchen, so you can see the kitchen as you're dining and as you're sitting and just having a great cocktail, a glass of wine, a beer, whatever your beverage of choice is,
yeah.
right? And having an appetizer. I mean, the food is just fresh. It's really delicious, and it's different. It's something that Woodstock doesn't have. And I really like it. And I like him, and I love the staff. And I think Chef Zach is just bringing something a little bit different, a little bit cutting edge, innovative to Woodstock. And we really needed that. So that's my number one, Duke's Inferno.
So this is super interesting. So I'm all transparency, you guys. I'm like Googling Duke's right now. That's what I'm doing. But one of the first things I noticed here, they are a green restaurants. They're green certified.
Absolutely.
Which that blows my mind that in the restaurant. So for those, so here, I'm going to read this a little quick. What defines a green restaurant? Green restaurant is one in which is environmentally friendly in all areas of food production and sales, such as even the menu design, choice of ingredients, preparation methods, as well as use of materials such as table settings, cloths, napkins, decorations, etc. Cleaning products and packaging supplies throughout. That is awesome. That is so cool.
Yes. We embrace that about Chef Zach. And, think of like restaurants that compost. That's him.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So fresh
Especially with all that
ingredients,
food,
local. He loves to find ingredients from our local farmers and providers and proprietors within, a certain radius to the restaurant itself. Think farm to table.
Yes.
That's him conceptually. And I wrote a little tagline. Ready for this one?
I love it. Go for it.
One chef, two concepts, two communities, one philosophy. Approachable, awesomely fresh, locally sourced ingredients that help to make inviting locations for friends and families to come together to share meals, libations, good times.
Dang. All right, chef. All right. If that is not a pitch right there, I love that. Yeah, you just made them a commercial.
Yeah.
We'll cut that right there and loop it for them, So this is so bad. I'm looking at this for how hungry I am. So they also do something they call a euphoric hour. Wednesday through Friday from 2 to 5, their burgers are half price. They do a karaoke, bingo every third. I feel like you can't be arrested.
Is that Duke's in Crystal Lake, though? That might be Duke's in Crystal Lake. Because Duke's Inferno, they're open Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 4 o'clock, I believe, till 8 or 9.
Wow. So I'm an amateur over here. So I am clearly looking at Duke's.
Right. Duke's Inferno.
That's Duke's.
Think of like hummus and salads and yummy spinach artichoke dip. And then their beautiful wood-fired pizzas are just amazing because they're so fresh and the ingredients are different. It's combinations of things you might not think of right off the bat, but really tasty.
So now that I'm actually on Duke's Inferno's website and looking at their menu, this is what happens when I wing things, you know.
It's all right.
So we've got Saturdays are half-price bottles of wine.
Love that.
Every Friday, fish fry, fresh fish special. Say that 10 times fast. Thursdays are half-price cocktails and mocktails. Ooh, I want to look at the mocktails. I'm always interested. Like I see some places they call it a mocktail, and it's like water with like a splash of lime, and they're like a mocktail,
right?
Or like serve you lemonade, and they're like mocktail, and then like some places use like a non-alcoholic like tequila or like stuff, and those are interesting. I would call those mocktails.
Yeah, and here they're making their fresh purees and simple syrups from scratch, and they're infusing those syrups with different flavors. So that's what they're using in their cocktails.
How do you make an eco-conscious pizza? I love this. I'm not going to read this to you guys. You guys got to go on the website. I'm going to make you guys look it up now.
But yeah, they're just what a wonderful addition. They have a great outdoor patio too, which I love.
I'm a sucker for a good patio.
Yeah, it's really nice. And I think Sundays, if I'm recalling correctly, it's kids eat free. And so Sundays are really fun for families to go.
I think I did see that. Where did I?
Yeah.
Sundays, kids eat free. Oh my gosh. Did you know that kids eat free every Sunday at Duke's Inferno? They can choose from spaghetti and meatballs, pasta, grass-fed burger sliders, or grilled cheese. That is so cool.
Isn't that awesome?
That is talk about a family friendly. Like bring them in. Let's go. The other thing I just wanted to note on here on this menu, again, I won't list it off to you guys, but they list all the farms and what they use from that farm on their menu. That is so cool. And every before I put foot in mouth again, but every single one minus one place is all from Illinois. They use Iowa, which is pretty much the only place to get pork anyway, but everywhere else is a local Illinois farm. That's so cool.
Isn't that amazing? Small local supporting small local.
Yeah.
I just think, talk about circular economy.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
Oh my! What's your favorite thing to get?
The white bean hummus is it has this smoky flavor because they go that little extra, I call it layers of flavor. And then they put this little jam on top and then also a green pesto. So when you combine all those flavors, it's magic.
That's so good. Oh, yeah. We're starting with food, right?
I'm so sorry.
No, don't be. I love it.
I just thought it would be something to get the juices flowing, so to speak. So that's my number one. All
right. Well, I'm going to, just to piggyback off the food one, I'm going to do my food one.
Okay.
So mine's more of a market. So it's called Oxtail Market. It's over in, I think that's technically Round Lake. They're listing the farm address here. Where? So Oxtail Market's on 83, just north of Rollins Road, right by the Walmart, if you guys know the area. So what they do, it's actually part of a farm called Scholl's Farm. I'm apologize I mispronounced that, or because you guys all know that listen regularly. I'm great with names. So it's a beef farm mostly, but they've partnered with a Temple Farms out just past Gurnee for vegetables. So you go in there and you've got either like incredible meat, like, and everything you can think of, from ribs to burgers to beef brats to big steaks and briskets and whatever you want. They've got it. To then fresh farm, the microgreens, the eggs, the corn, whatever, you name it, all in there. And it's this tiny little place, but they've got some of the best stuff I've ever had. Again, all local, all, all the special buzzwords of like, well-fed and grass-fed, and, they're massaging the cows and playing music and, making sure
free
they're
range.
tucked in. Yeah, free range, all the marketing terms. You would know.
Yes.
You're in marketing. But we actually, my wife and I, just last week, went to a dinner and on Temple Farms, and they had some of the meat was from Shoals. The farm was the vegetables. Like, so you want to talk about farm to table? It was such a cool experience.
That sounds incredible.
Yeah, and the sunset right over the cornfields right behind us, and we're literally sitting in the field just eating. It was like, I think 20 some of us.
That sounds
like,
incredible.
Yeah, and they were out there. It was amazing. But Oxtail is a great little shop, and you can get anything from family dinners to a 30-pound brisket in there, and cook up for the family. But check them out. I highly, highly recommend them. They just good for good quality local meat. I will say the only caveat, so they flash freeze their meat immediately. Mm-hmm. So now there's nothing fresh. It's all frozen already. And then we just talked about to them, and it's just like the shelf lifetime. They need to, freeze it. But they do it immediately. It's a process that's like flash frozen, I guess is the term they use. But
makes sense.
So if you're looking to go pick up a steak tonight and make it, it really won't work too well because it's already frozen.
Yeah.
But beyond that, but they have chicken, they have pork. I got it all. And they now got Wagyu.
Fancy.
They do their own Wagyu too.
Yeah.
I'm just like, but
this might be a good time to tell you that I eat mostly vegetarian.
Breaking news. Oh, well, you don't go there. And
yes, I would go for the farm stand kind of quality of it, to get the fresh produce and some of the dairy, things like that. Yeah.
Hang on one second. Are you buzzing really bad?
A little bit. Not bad. There's a little. There.
I think we're just getting interference from there. I'm good. You good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Cool. All right. All right, we'll go into your number 2. All right. Cool. So you're pretty much wait, you said pretty much vegetarian.
Yeah, on occasion I'll have, a piece of fish, but no beef, no pork, no chicken, no lamb, nothing for 25 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Very cool. The wife only eats fish now. So she was full vegetarian for years. Mm-hmm. And then now.
I was too.
Now she'll do fish.
Yeah. On occasion, I might have, some shrimp or like a piece of fish, but that's few and far between.
Yeah. Wow. I couldn't give up sushi, so. But actually, I was vegetarian for 1 year. And the only reason I made it even that long was because my wife's a really good cook. So she was making some pretty bomb meals that were like, actually, I still ask her to make them to this day, even though it's like, they were just so good, different things like, with like lentils as a meat substitute and stuff like that. It was really, really good.
Now you're speaking my language.
Oh, dude, she's got some recipes that she should throw your way. You would love them. They're really, really good. See, we got down the food route. So regroup. All right.
Regroup.
Business number 2 in Woodstock. Who are we talking about?
Number 2 is the records department. And no, this is not an office within City Hall.
I was gonna
but
say.
this is so amazing. So not only does this husband-wife duo operate a fantastic, welcoming, downright rad vinyl shop, but they also embrace local artists and musicians.
Love it.
Right? Come for the vinyl, stay for the live performances. Kelly and Michael are true small business success story. So this is amazing. I touched on the old courthouse center and this beautifully renovated, restored location. Again, it's an anchor on the Woodstock Square. Within the renovated space are incubator retail shops.
Love this. Tell me more.
Very, very small square footage, right? And so this is almost like a nod back to the idea of the McHenry Riverwalk shops.
Yeah.
But right in, Woodstock, we are landlocked. So we don't have any water near us. But the Woodstock Square is kind of the place that people think of as the center of the town. Well, this amazing building was preserved. We invested millions of dollars into the preservation and restoration to bring it back to its glory. And within it now are these incubator spaces. And the records department is one of those success stories. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. They came in, set up shop, opened up, and within, just several months became the big success story, outgrew the space, moved out, and are still in Woodstock, but they've
Love it.
expanded their space. And so their location is now at 216 Main Street in Woodstock. They were part of we call it the 101 Studio Business Incubator Program.
That's a mouthful. Say it 10 times.
Yeah,
No,
the
I'm just
101
kidding.
Studio Business Incubator Program.
Love it.
Yeah, they opened their original location within that old courthouse center in 2023, and then, like I said, outgrew that space, stayed in Woodstock, expanded their square footage, and they continue to just be one of those places you walk in, you feel welcome, it's warm, it's not pretentious, it's cool, they know music, you want to buy some vinyl, awesome. You don't, and you just kind of want to browse the stacks, you can do that there too, no judgment.
Do you do vinyl? Are you into vinyl?
I do. I have a pretty significant vinyl collection, and I really am. My preference is jazz.
Love that.
Yeah.
Yes. So obviously you did. You lived in Chicago for a while.
Yes.
Did you end up in any of the jazz bars?
I used to go to the Green Mill a lot.
Yeah, the infamous
And,
Green Mill.
yeah.
You can't not. If you're into jazz at all and you go to Chicago, the Green Mill is a must.
Yeah. And even, it was one of those places like you didn't necessarily even know who was going to be playing that night. It didn't matter because you know you're going to hear amazing music. Just incredible.
I dabble in vinyl, and by no means I've got my little setup, but I have a whole new appreciation for vinyl, man. The sound that comes out on vinyl. I actually search for the old vinyls because I think they even sound better, or just I'm going to say better, just a more character type vinyl. Like I'm huge into Santana. He's by far my favorite artist of all time. But I look for the original albums from like the 70s and 80s because it's just like the grit they have to them.
The crackle.
Yeah, it's just you can't get enough. Vinyl it blows my mind how much that's come back.
It's huge.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they're doing well.
They're doing really well, and we're so glad to have them.
So tell me, can you give us a little more on the incubator program? Like, are you accepting other businesses? How do you guys support them? What does that look like?
Yeah. So the incubator program was established to really give small local entrepreneurs a shot, right? Give them a chance. And what the incubator program allows them to do, the rent is very nominal.
2 words sounds like.
Right. The rent is very nominal.
There we go.
And the interesting thing is, because it's in a city building, you have to think of it like the city's your landlord. So it gets a little tricky.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah. But it's an application process, and those businesses that are selected, they get the privilege to have other local entrepreneurs and people that have established businesses give them advice on things like the financials, your P&L, your inventory, marketing ideas, all of the nitty-gritty stuff about running a business. That's what you get in that part of that incubator program.
Love that. I think that we need more of that.
I agree.
I think we need, you guys are doing it. Obviously, as you referenced, McHenry's doing their thing. And cities doing more and more of this because it's like it's the only way, there's no other education, right? It's like, and learning trial by fire really doesn't work anymore. We don't have that leeway.
Right.
There's only so much YouTube University can do for us, and it's like, and the biggest thing I always say, you don't know what you don't know. I don't know the questions to ask because I just don't know. Right.
Right.
And so when you're surrounded by others who've either gone through it or going through it, either you guys figure it out together or maybe there's a piece of advice they kick back out to you.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, the selected vendors have the opportunity to open their own storefront to gain experience within a small, manageable footprint. Okay. So think of it like that. The square footage is small. So the whole point is that, like I said, with the records department, you outgrow the space,
100%.
but then you stay in Woodstock. So, yeah.
How long have you guys been doing this?
Just about a year.
Oh, so you guys are just real fresh to it.
We're very fresh to it.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. Because you guys just remodeled the
old courthouse. Yeah, just went under that whole renovation, and the grand reopening and the ribbon cutting. Everything was last summer, so it's been just about a year.
And if someone had a business that they wanted to get interested, now I can't talk all of a sudden. are interested in getting involved, is there like a window of like application? You guys kind of a rolling thing? What does that look like?
Well, unfortunately, no. They have missed the window for this season. May and June is really the time of when we're searching for tenants and kind of going through that application process. Mm-hmm. But because the businesses that were there have sort of incubated out, I think on a rolling basis, if they want information, they can definitely look up the 101 Studios at the Woodstock
find
Old
some more.
Courthouse Center in Woodstock.
You guys, and I'll tag that. So if there's anyone that wants to double click into that, out in the Woodstock area, take their business to the next level. These things are so great. There's so much information. I mean, you learn, and some people learn it. Hey, maybe that's not what they want to do, and that's okay. That's how you learn. But I think it's a really, really cool opportunity. Take advantage of it.
Yes.
Or just go shop. If you're not a small business owner, go shop at those small businesses.
Go support the small businesses. Absolutely.
Shop local.
So I gave you Duke's Inferno, gave you a restaurant.
Yeah.
Went into the music
Yep.
records department. All right. What do you have?
So I'm going to go in the automotive space. So there's a place called Fire Guys Tinting. They're actually out of Antioch. So I'm bouncing all over. I'm all over the place. But I love these guys. So you want to talk about, it sounds so like simple. You're like, oh, I want my windows tinted. I'm like, well, first off, there's probably like 1,000 people in Lake County that tell you that can do it. I didn't realize how much science there is to tinting windows until I went to get I think who was the first car I got with them? I think it was the Jeep. Anyway, I've had a bunch done by them. Customer service, the pricing straightforward and transparent, which I will tell you a lot of places aren't. But the quality, like if you go see, like you've ever seen a bad tint, it looks purple. You know, I don't know if you've ever seen any of these cars around, the purple tints. You know, it's like it fades really quick and all this. But the other part about it, they're firefighters that started it.
I love that.
And I'm all about so a lot of my heart is started with veterans. I do a lot with our veterans, but front line too, our first responders, excuse me. So just seeing that some firefighters have started up and done something like this, and now it's huge. I mean, it's much, much bigger than just a little thing, but they have a full big, beautiful building in Antioch. And they can handle any type of car, any type of vehicle. Biggest thing is they're quick, they're quality, they're very transparent. And it's like, and I think that me pitching them on something like this, there's not a lot of story to tell around running a tint shop, but I can tell you when, it's good, genuine people that are just going to tell you like straightforward, like don't do this, like you want that, but hey, like there's legal limits on tinting and stuff, they're very transparent about that, where, it's like, that's up to you. Back windows, you can do this, all these different nuances. But I think when it comes down to it, just the way that, most people, the second most expensive thing they ever buy in their life is their car, right? You buy a house and then you buy a car. They treat your car with respect, and they've got a beautiful bay and a beautiful waiting area. And I think the way they treat their customer is something that I wish I could copy and paste to many, many businesses, and it's just like, and I don't want to undervalue the value that they're just doing with window tinting, but, who they are as owners are just incredible. And, from being a first responder to now, hey, just window tinting. I don't want to undervalue that at all, but very, very good company, great guys out there. So if you're looking to get your windows tinted, there's no one else who I'd love to touch my car. That sounded really weird, but.
Do they do things like detailing?
They don't. They really just wanted to hone in on the one thing, and they do it very well. I know they do into wraps a bit, some graphics and things like that. But yeah, detailing is just a whole I think they've partnered with somebody now around that, but that's their thing is the tinting.
Got it. Because sometimes those are like crossover services that you'll see.
100%, yeah.
And if you know the customer and you've got sort of that vertical locked in, you can do a little bit more like vertical integration, they call it in business, right?
Yeah,
and
there we go.
You start crossing over your services. And it sounds like they've got the customer profile down pat, and they've got this amazing customer service. But I love that. And another little nugget, obviously, I'm born and raised Chicagoan from the South Side. Grew up right near Comiskey Park. I have 3 older brothers, one of which is a Chicago police officer.
Oh, that's amazing.
So,
Well, thank you for thank him. Thank the family for the support, the protection, the service.
Yeah.
The other service I did forget. It's called PPF, paint protection film. It's a clear film that they do. Like, so a buddy of mine just did it. He got a brand new Porsche. Cool for him.
Beautiful.
To each his own. I'm not a Porsche guy, but that's a whole nother conversation. But they do is they put this clear coat, like from like rocks flying up. It helps paint fading from the sun, which happens, or the bad rain and things like that. So you can comfortably park your car outside, or you can drive down the highway and things won't happen to it. But it's just another great service that they offer. And they highly recommend that. Is if you get a new car, the sooner you get that put on, the better. Mm-hmm. But yeah, they do that.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, I know. Not a lot to their story, but
it's
they
great.
do a lot, and I like them.
Fire Guys.
Fire Guys Tint,
Okay.
Out in Antioch.
Awesome.
All right, so now we're going to toss the ball back into your court.
Okay.
No pun. No, I have no puns around that. Usually I'm full of puns, but what do you got for us?
All right, number 3. And this is tough because it's, it sounds like I'm giving all of this like preferential treatment, but I'm telling you. Well, I am, but I'm also, I think of myself as this like unofficial ambassador for my amazing adoptive city of Woodstock. So if I had my own podcast, I could do an entire podcast series just on amazing businesses within the city of Woodstock. So it was so hard to narrow them down, but
sounds like you have a new
side gig.
Side gig.
Number 3 is Seleta Scents.
Seleta Scents.
Seleta SCENTS. They are another awesome incubator business inside the old courthouse on the Woodstock Square. And they are another husband and wife team who let enthusiasm and artistry truly shine. So one amazing thing, there's so many about this wonderful business. Think of it as like your scent candle shop where you can go in and you can make custom candles as well. So I've actually done that. I treated myself. My birthday was May 7th. I'm a Taurus. So I went in.
That explains so much.
And
just kidding.
and I know sort of the scent profiles that I like, but I for sure know what I don't like. And so I went in with this idea of creating a custom candle, and I spent about a good 20 minutes doing some different scent combinations, but there's so many. So the easiest thing for me was to sit down and eliminate the scents I knew I wasn't going to like, and then start working with sort of floral, some fruit notes, things like that. And I came up with the Taurian Summer. And oh, it's just beautiful. It smells so good. It's so pretty that like I hate to burn it, but because that's how nice it smells. But the owners are so good at what they do. They're there to guide you and help you. And if you're not into, sitting and creating your own scent, my goodness, they have a huge selection of all of the candles that they also create. And then they have things like that you can hang in your car. They have like those kind of like scents.
Like air freshener, but yeah, not the pine tree old things.
No. And they're just lovely. They're just great people. They're doing a lot within the community. They're really good supporters. They help Rotary. They've done some really cool donations, and it's just a warm place to be. Pardon, there's a little bit of a pun for you.
There you go. There's
the candle shop.
Yeah, all right.
But it's just one of those, it just feels good. It smells good. It's just one of those shops that you love to go to and support them and say, you know what? This is the circular economy again, right? I'm here. I'm going to make this purchase because I know it's supporting a really, really amazing entrepreneur who's doing something special, doing something unique. And here's another unique thing. They partner with other businesses. So maybe, candle making, that sounds cool. Maybe you want to bring, friends in and do that for a birthday, or husband and wife go in, or, partners do that for an anniversary, whatever. Girls' night out, guys' night out, whatever the case may be. But there's like paint and sips. So they partner with, like candle making parties within other businesses. So just some cool things going on. Again, they are still one of the incubator businesses within the old courthouse on the Woodstock Square. That address is 111 North Johnson Street.
111 North Johnson Street. It sounds fake when you say
I know,
that.
but yeah, they're amazing. Huge diverse range of handcrafted soy candles and aromatic products. So, but that scent bar to make your own candle is just exquisite. So there you go.
I want to see. I've been scoping their website out there. We've been talking about them. They also do a fundraising candle service. It's a unique opportunity for businesses to make a difference in their communities while promoting their brand. So it looks like a way you can partner with them, and part of the candle sale will go to work with our designer to create a custom label for your fundraiser. And then have some of the funds go to whether it's for a school, a charity, a sports team. I love that.
Yeah. So that's
so different. It's not popcorn.
Exactly.
Or mulch or, God, I'm thinking what else do they want to knock on my door about,
Right.
Or car wash, like
And
something just cool. It's different.
For sure. And as part of those in McHenry County will know, and especially in the Woodstock area will know, Woodstock Rotary Christmas Clearinghouse has been going on for over 50 years, helping, over 1,000 families every single year with an amazing meal and gifts for those families most in need. Salita Scents did a wonderful product for us, and it's just so cool. Like, proceeds went back to helping us fundraise for Christmas Clearinghouse. So I love that. That's the kind of partnership that I think is so important with small businesses.
Yeah, 100%.
Isn't that cool?
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Man, see, we could do this all. We're gonna probably do a part 2 on this. Part 3 maybe. See how far we go down the rabbit hole. All right, so I'm gonna turn the tables here. Oh, see the record. I should have used that one earlier.
That's a good one for the vinyl for the records department. That's all right.
But so this one, I was torn to actually take it off the list because they had some business changes since we planned this call or planned this episode. But I'm going to still talk about them, and you'll see why in a second. So the name of the place is called Loomy Shop, Loomi Shop. So this one's in Lake Villa. And this one I'm doing on behalf of my wife. She absolutely loves this place. So they focus on finding handmade or partner with handcrafted product. So they either have, and they're mostly focused around things made on looms. So, they've got towels and blankets and she's obsessed with her scarves. She's got a couple of them. The quality of these things that she has bought from the towels and the scarves that I've seen are incredible. The attention to detail, the material, the design in them, and all of this. And then she's got these parts where she calls it her found objects, and they're things again from other small businesses, and she buys them from all over and brings them into this little tiny shop. So why I thought of not talking about them today, they're moving, and so the family's moving. The family's moving to Indiana, but their shop's staying open online. So it's a very small. It's a small shop that supports small local handcrafted product. So they're not going away, but they are still available online, so it's loomyshop.co. So I think by the time you guys hear this, unfortunately, I think their store in Lake Villa is going to be closed. But they're still going to be available online. You have to check out their handcrafted stuff they find, their vintage products. It's incredible. And it's just, I think it's like a double layer of supporting small, supporting local, because her whole thing was partnering with, people who handcraft things. And it's just, I wish I had like the blanket or the one scarf. It's incredible. So loomyshop.co, guys, check them out. Unfortunately, I think they'll be closed in Lake Villa by the time you're hearing this, but
and it's Loomy, Loomi.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I have a gorgeous towel that I got when I was in Istanbul. So
wow.
Yeah,
okay.
So, the Turkish artisans are so known for working on looms, and so just blankets and wraps and towels and robes. Oh, when you say there is nothing crafted quite like that.
100%.
Yeah.
You can't, no big corporate machine can replicate a handcrafted loom. You can tell right away.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says. It's unreal.
Amazing.
Sidebar, my wife and I went out to Amana, Iowa. So if you've ever seen like the dryers and the washers,
Yeah.
that's where they're originally started, was actually there. But what they're actually more well known for is their looms. So we stayed in this small, like, it almost felt like a slash German slash Dutch slash Amish little town of Amana, Iowa. Mana, I think somebody's going to troll me and yell at me for that one. I guarantee it. But the half the hotel we stayed in, so the hotel was beautifully renovated, but it was an old like loom, like warehouse manufacturing like thing. And half of it still did it.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you guys are like, want to go somewhere and you can watch them make it. It's insane.
So cool.
And the looms are from like the 1800s. It's insane. It's
love
so
that.
cool. So another little, if you guys are into that stuff, head out there. Again, it's not local, but it's small. Shop small, you know?
Right. Yeah. Shop small. Exactly.
Yeah, but story anecdotal there for you. So what do you got for us next? Who's
All right.
on the list?
Number 4.
In no particular order.
No particular order. Completely random. Number 4. Another restaurant.
Oh boy. Oh, great. I'm going to go get a snack. Hang on.
This is a really unique one. It's called Your Sister's Tomato.
Oh, yes. We did talk about this one. Yes.
Now, Your Sister's Tomato, people probably know because of the food truck.
Yes.
Your Sister's Tomato is everywhere.
It's unreal. It's everywhere.
Yes. They do such an amazing job. Any number of events throughout McHenry County and beyond, you will see them. And what a story. Let me just say, another duo, but best friends who at one time played basketball for NIU, Northern Illinois University, and are in the NIU Hall of Fame for women's basketball.
No big deal. Brush some shoulders off. Okay.
No biggie. Lisa, one half of the dynamic duo, Lisa also played professionally and now runs a fantastic clinic where she helps improve the skills of young athletes. And guess where the clinic is? That's right. It's right upstairs from the brick and mortar.
No way.
Your Sister's Tomato location, which is at 110 Irving Avenue in Woodstock. Lisa and Tammy truly represent that entrepreneurial drive, that spirit, the athletic endurance. So they started with the food trucks. Yeah. That just took off like
they
crazy. Crushed it.
Absolutely.
And then opened the brick and mortar. And usually in these cases, the opposite is true. The brick and mortar will open and then the food truck will come along. They went in reverse order. And it's a really unique space. It's not huge, but it's super family friendly. Again, they have an outdoor area. Lisa's mom, Annelle, she works there. You know, it's really, when you think of a family business, the nieces and nephews are there working, taking orders. Yeah, working on the food trucks. It's that family business spirit that I really love. And again, they are extremely generous. They're so giving to their community. And I just love that about them. And so Lisa, Tammy, thank you for, again, choosing Woodstock. We love you. The food's amazing. Wood-fired pizzas right out of the oven. Good. They are so good. Yeah. So when you think of, I believe the term would be like Neapolitan style.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I have ran a couple pretty large events where we bring in food trucks, like 5, 6, 7 food trucks. I've tried to get them every single time, and they almost laugh at me, and like they're not being mean in any way. It's like we've been booked for months. It's like, sorry. Like, it's like, and you know, it's like, and I don't blame them. I mean, it's so good. They're so busy. It's like, you know, they could probably have a dozen food trucks and still fill them out, get them out everywhere and still be going. But, and doing a brick and mortar. Like,
I know.
Bless them.
And I will say this though, I believe in the summer, if I'm not mistaken, they basically shut down the brick and mortar because they don't have the time to run the shop. So because the food trucks are out and about everywhere within, like I said, greater McHenry County for Your Sister's Tomato. But, you know, come, you know, fall and winter, you have to go visit the brick and mortar. It's just so cool. Yeah. It's really fun. Yeah,
it says here actually, right on the website, it's food truck season. Due to our busy food truck, wow, can I read? Due to our busy food truck event schedule, our restaurant will be closed the months of August, September, and October. Follow our truck on social media to see where our upcoming events are, and stay tuned, and we'll be back soon.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The pizzas are they're craveable.
They're so I mean, they have like a following. Like people travel just to go get because some for Woodstock, some people that's just too far. So when they see that food truck, they're south, they're west, or east or whatever. Or up in Wisconsin, I've even seen them. It's
and they make a mean tiramisu.
Really?
It is the best tiramisu I've ever had. It's so fluffy and delicious. So craveable. And their dessert pizza it's got Nutella and bananas, and I'll just leave it at that.
I love that. Oh, wow. So we're going to go curveball here. I'm going to actually have you go again.
Okay. Excellent.
And then, because I want to make sure we have enough time to get all of yours in.
Yeah.
And then depending on time, maybe I'll do my last one.
Okay.
Because you had 5, right?
I had 5. Yep.
All right, cool.
This is something truly unique. It is the Food Shed Co-op.
Oh my God. I've been wanting to go there so bad. Okay, I'll stop. You do your thing.
It is so cool. Okay, ready? We have a brand new food cooperative right here in McHenry County. I am so stoked about this. The Food Shed explains the concept itself, and this is straight from the website. We are a group of regular folks who have been working hard since 2014 to open a community-owned grocery store in McHenry County, Illinois. The Food Shed Co-op incorporated in 2014 as a business organization under the Illinois Cooperative Act. So what is a cooperative? It's a group of people who work together for economic benefit. I mean, this is the spirit of this podcast,
100%,
right?
Yes.
The Food Shed Co-op, it's a full-service grocery store voluntarily owned and controlled by our owners. And I am very proud to be owner 676. So, yeah, before it was just conceptual at the time. They didn't even have renderings of what the building was going to look like. But the model is you have to get funded. And once you have proof of concept through this owner cooperative system, to help fund the actual building of the brick and mortar store, that's when it happens. And conceptually, I understood, I got it, I understand that business model, and it is in the true spirit of circular economy.
Yep.
And I just think it's amazing, and I'm so grateful for the Food Shed again for trusting the community of Woodstock to build within. It's a gorgeous building, brand new, right on Route 14. The address for the food co-op is Food Shed Co-op, 2390, so 2390 Lakeshore Drive, basically Route 14 in Lakeshore Drive in Woodstock. Oh, man. It's so great. The fresh produce, locally sourced products. Again, the meat, it's like that flash frozen meat, but there's a huge variety, huge selection. Anybody can shop there. That's, I think, one of the biggest misconceptions. People are like, well, do I have to be an owner to shop there? Absolutely not. But being an owner does provide a couple of benefits. Yeah.
I think the biggest thing, so correct me if I'm wrong. So everything that's carried in there, I'm not seeing craft and brands like that, right?
Yeah, for the most part, they try to source as much as they can. There are exceptions. So you will see some, brands that you could also find in other big box stores. However, a very large portion are going to be sourced from local proprietors, farmers, people who raise livestock, right here within, a certain small radius around the store itself. They will try to get as much locally sourced as possible.
God, that's so cool.
I know. They promote and foster better food choices, cultivate and strengthen the local economy, and inspire and empower the community. I mean, that's part of their core values. So how do you not stand behind that? I love it.
I mean, this place is so cool. I've been following this for a long time. I saw when they were first talking about it, and unfortunately, I didn't get involved. I think part of it, maybe I'm not in Woodstock, but I would love to see something out our way of something like this. But I've been just dying to get out there to see this shop there. I think this again is another one of those concepts. It's incubator for food, not even incubator, I can't even think of
Yeah,
my word
I
choice
get
around
it.
this. Like, it helps. It's like a consignment store for groceries.
Yeah.
It's like bringing everybody together. Like everyone succeeds, right? It's like a farmer's market on steroids.
Yeah, it's true. That's a really good way to put it. It's a farmer's market where you're under a roof and you can actually take your time with your little shopping cart and shop.
Yeah.
Here's a really cool fun fact. So I'll bring it right back full circle. Chef Zach of Duke's Inferno and Duke's Ale House and Kitchen.
The one in Woodstock, guys.
Yeah, Duke's Inferno in Woodstock. He actually helped to support, he's an owner, of course, and he loves this idea of obviously like locally sourced. But they at the Food Shed Co-op, they have a grab and go section with like hot soups and salads and sandwiches.
Yeah, okay.
He conceptualized a lot of the recipes for those. So you'll see stickers on certain items that say Duke's.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
because they're actually like some salad dressings that you can get from the grab and go section. The salads, there's a couple like wraps and sandwiches, soups, hot soup, things like that are from Duke's Inferno and Duke's Ale House.
Man, it's just
Isn't
I
that
love the
awesome?
cross work on all that. There's just the community really coming together on all of that.
Yeah. So those are my 5.
Those are your 5?
Yeah.
Just those 5. There's no
I know.
more.
I have a list of like 35 more. So if we want to ever touch base again, you know where to find me.
Well, this has been so much fun. Like you said, I think I could talk about small businesses all day, every day. And when I finally get the right business pulled up, it makes it even more fun to talk about. But
and I think what you're doing, giving a platform to small business owners, proprietors, entrepreneurs, that's really special. And it goes a long way for people who have a dream and think, I don't know if I could ever make it happen. How do I learn? Who do I lean on? Now you're building this small community within itself of people to go to, resources. Oh, I just think it's awesome to give a platform to people.
Well, and I wanted to do too was like show to people on the fence of starting their own business that most of us, when we start our own business, we don't have it all figured out, and that's okay. It's actually better to not feel like that, because then you'll either never start it or you overthink it. There's going to be things either your business is going to pivot, you think it's a good idea now, and then you try doing it. And it's, maybe this product was the prime product. I was going to start my business, and this side product ends up being the one that takes off and changes your rest of your life. Right.
Yeah.
But I think fear is our biggest hurdle in almost anything. And I think this just kind of gives people that it's okay to be afraid, and it's okay to go into the unknown, right?
Yeah.
And that there are a lot of communities like Woodstock, like McHenry, that are doing things to help get you guys getting your foot in the water, so you don't feel like you're totally just cannonballing in and hope you can swim, right?
Yeah.
And without being overly committal too. You get a taste of it, and seeing if that life's really what you want to do.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot with the something me and Amy talked about, the incubators are really heavily focused on the retail side,
Right.
which is its own beast in itself. A B2C type of business is anybody who's worked in it, has strong opinions one way or the other. So again, is that something I really want to do? Do I want to stick to e-commerce? Don't want to do this at all? Do I want to patent it? Do I want to license it instead?
Right.
And let it be someone else's problem, and just take the money and run,
Yeah.
but to each their own. But there's a lot of people out there, they're all going through it. And, and if you're not on the fence of getting into a business or starting a business, to help highlight to these people, it's like, I think one of the hardest things, and actually I've found it's harder to find a small business than I thought it was going to be. So I know my small businesses that I go to because I happen to find them and maybe one person recommends it. But to even try to Google and figure out, like, there is not a good
directory.
I just want to start one.
I know. I agree.
Like a true actual small business, and it's like, and I also like, and I think the definition of small business needs to be translated too, which I haven't done on this podcast yet, which I don't think I will yet. I don't think we're at that point. But I think, because I run into, there's two sides of small business, right? There is your side hustle, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, is it somebody's true small business? Or is it, I'm just trying to pay for my Disney trip? Or the other side, you're almost so big that are you not a small business? Now, the government has their small business definition, but their small business definition is pretty big company for most of us, or what we would look at as a small business for
Right.
most of us. So I also have to decide then where's the line?
You should, though.
Yeah.
That would be a really cool episode to discuss that. And there's an SBA program.
Right.
There is a small business administration.
They actually do a lot of really cool things to help people out.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really, really do. So this was so fun. I'm so glad I came and did this episode with you. And again, I have so many more businesses to discuss, but those were my 5.
All right. Name one that you didn't talk about. Who would be who would be number 6?
Number 6 would be Casting Whimsy. It's a tea shop. And
Like tea, like the drinks?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's right off the Woodstock Square. Again, just a husband and wife duo that started with.
That's like a Woodstock parameter. You must be a husband wife duo.
Yeah, they're just incredible, and they were another business that started on Main Street, close to the movie theater, and they outgrew that space, and they have this really neat standalone spot. You can go in, have afternoon tea. She makes amazing quiche and savory treats that you can have with your tea.
Now you're talking my language. There we go.
And then there's a variety of cookies and baked goods and scones, things like that. And for those that don't want to enjoy it there's a lot that you can, grab and go, take away. And then she has an entire wall of loose tea blends that she custom makes. So they're amazing. Casting Whimsy in Woodstock. Look up their afternoon tea. It sells out really quickly because you have to get spots. You have to make reservations for it.
Wow. Okay.
And it's taken off. People love it.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love hearing that.
Yeah.
Well, Natalie, thank you. What we're going to do, guys, we're going to tag all these businesses so you guys can all check them out. You can go all support them, buy some records, drink some tea, stop by the Duke's Inferno, all of it, and support Woodstock, support local, shop local. And Natalie, thank you again for your time today.
Thanks, Eric. This was awesome.
And until next time, goodbye for now. And that wraps up another episode of Small Business Big Dreams. Thank you for joining us. Please support us and these incredible small businesses by sharing this podcast with friends, family, and on your social networks. Spreading the word not just helps us grow, but more importantly supports the dreams of our local entrepreneurs. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform. But if you have a small business we should hear about, reach out to us on social media or our website. We would love to hear from you. Until next week, I'm your host, Eric Bull. Keep supporting small businesses, and goodbye for now.